So a week late, but we're still going to talk about it because
We're here.
could you imagine if we read all these issues and we just were like, yeah, we're not going to talk about this one.
Yeah,
Everything's
the
just been
finale of
culminating
this
to it.
like whole 13 issue arc. Yeah.
Because when I text you, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, like, what if he can't record this week? Because we couldn't,
Oh yeah.
for people
Last week.
listening, watching, like, we couldn't do it last week. Stuff came up, but
Yeah.
you you seem to have a lot to say. Normally, you don't text me. You wait till we record. So, do you want to start it off? How you feel about you want to air
I
your grievances?
I think my biggest problem, without like getting too deep into spoilers yet, like I think my biggest issue with this is it just seems like it's like basically he just threw a bunch of shit at the wall and expected most of it to stick when half of it just kind of like fell to the wayside when it came to the stuff that people didn't really understand. And then he went and doubled down on some of the concepts that I already was like iffy about.
Yeah.
So like, and from what I've read of Spurrier and from what like other people that I've talked to, they say that that's kind of like an ongoing thing, is he'll throw a bunch of plot threads out there, and the ones that garner the most interest are the ones that usually continue, and the rest are left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
So
I think he just tries to set up a lot. Everything
yeah,
I agree with you. Everything I've ever read from him, he's setting up a lot of stuff.
like if
Um,
I know the big like one of the biggest things I hear about his work is the stuff that he did in X-Men, and people were just upset because he just started a bunch of stuff and then it kind of just stopped.
maybe just he's out. Yeah.
Yeah, so like and and I think I hate to I don't I'm gonna walk that back. He really does feel like a Grant Morrison light, you know what I mean? Like in the fact that he's like trying all these really high concept things, but a lot of them don't have the execution that Morrison does.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping though we turn a leaf with this next arc. I think we will. It just kind of seemed like I just don't know. Like I liked I liked a few things about this.
Hmm.
I liked just bringing everyone together.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like the Flash family's been disjointed. It feels like at the end of the Williamson run, they kind of were like, oh yeah, everyone's back. And then most of Adam's run, they were just not together. So it was like
Yeah,
good
and then it
to
wasn't until like 1 Minute War when they all like finally came back together. I mean, basically his last arc there too.
yeah.
Um,
So I don't know
the
if
the
it's
other
editorial
thing,
or what, but
yeah, I don't know, and that's where I was gonna go with that. I was like, I don't know if it was something where like when we first heard about Spurrier's Flash, it was pitched as this like saga of the Swamp Thing for the Flash or the Immortal Hulk for the Flash, and I think that really got people like excited because it got me excited. And I
yeah.
thought there were a lot of interesting concepts in the first few issues, even though some of them I didn't really care for to begin with, but I was willing to stick them out. But like a lot of it just kind of fell to the wayside to focus on just like how can we complicate but also simplify the Speed Force at the same time? Because like as this arc went on, he kept saying like, oh, it's just time itself. It's just time. Okay, but like if it's just time itself, why are we getting like this progression into something more complicated than just time itself? And like I just feel like we were being pulled in so many different directions with it that any one like strong plot thread was it was like hard to follow along with because it was just there wasn't all the focus where like it could have been like at its strongest points, I guess.
I think if we go back and we binge read this, like we were talking to
Mm.
JD, he's loving this right now. Last time I talked to him, he's loving this.
It's so
So
funny because so many people are like, "This is great," and I'm like, "Am I crazy? Like, am I just like losing it and I
I
just am like
think
I hate it right now?"
I think it's because you and I, we, we're reading this monthly. We're not binging it, and
Yeah.
you and I overanalyze the shit out of it every
That
single
is
month.
true, but I also feel like I'm so like stuck in what I love about the Flash. Like I was having this conversation with Ryan. is like I feel like the Flash that I love is Wade Johns Adams. Like no matter at what point in that like trilogy of runs, it's the characterization of everybody is almost the same. Like, bar some modernizations, a few changes based on like context of the series, whatever. But like if you read Wade to Johns to Adams, there's a through line there. And it's that family and like all of the lightheartedness and like the hopefulness, like that's the core of the title. So when you strip that all away, it just feels like another character deconstruction that I feel like the Flash doesn't need because and we've talked about this before is this title should be DC's Fantastic Four. Like just like the
Yeah.
vibe that it puts off, the sci-fi stuff that it can do, and the family aspect of it. But like this run is so lacking in that until this issue. But
Yeah.
and even then, like it just feels like it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't earned. It was just kind of like, hey, I know you guys wanted it, so here it is.
Yeah.
And I know like, and he's good with the relationship and character stuff, and I've seen it like because I've read some of his indie stuff, and I think that he has it, and he like a familial love, like he knows how to write that. I just don't know if it like this was the book for him to do. You know what I mean? And I'll still keep reading it in the meantime, but I just don't know that I'll enjoy it.
Yeah. No, you got to keep reading this, man. What are you talking about?
I
You're going to keep
know.
reading this.
Can we just switch? Can we just get to Absolute Flash already?
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Like, because I
Yeah,
feel
me
like
too.
you and I think we're going to enjoy it. I mean, you're a big Jeff Lemire guy,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah,
read some of his stuff. Mostly, I think just Moon Knight, really.
yeah.
But
His Animal Man is fucking sick, dude.
yeah, I want to check that out at some point. That's been on my list
It's
for a
sick.
while.
It's
But
sick.
one thing I wanted to say, real quick while we're still on it, I loved the ending of this issue because everything happens. There's that weird moment where it's like with the Speed Force, where it's like the Speed Force is pregnant. What? And it ends. And I love how there's a whole page of just the family just standing there, like, so what do we do now?
Okay,
And
I
then
have a question about
they all
this.
just dip and they go away.
This dog, what is this dog? Is that the
Oh, I
Speed Force
know.
baby?
I you know what's weird? I was trying to figure that out, and I
Because this dog has never been in this book at all.
yeah, I was so confused by that. I
And
mean,
it has like a little lightning bolt collar on it.
yeah, I don't know what's up with
Look,
that.
see, like you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like and I already have a problem with like this uber cosmic force of time. Is that supposed to be Savitar,
just
former Air Force pilot who became the warlord? Please, no, no.
no,
Okay, I was like, please don't do this to me,
no.
man.
I just saw it and I had to click on it because I was like, wait, what?
Because like
But
we
I
don't
think
because yeah, okay.
he was on one of the page like those pages where
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
showed a bunch of
he's
stuff.
in it.
That page you were just on. Yeah,
Yeah. So like I saw that and then I saw his face and then when it said Air Force pilot, I was like, no, no. I was like, isn't that what Savitar was? He was a pilot, right?
yeah.
Oh, is he get if this end turned out to be Savitar, I might be done.
You don't like
Unless
Savitar?
I love Savitar,
Oh,
but I also don't want them to ruin him.
yeah. No, it's one of those good things. Like it's part of the lore that like hadn't been touched on a lot, and then
Yeah.
Heroes in Crisis happened, and then Jeremy Adams was like, I'm gonna fix Heroes in Crisis and
Yeah,
bring
and to
back
use
Savitar.
Savitar as a way to do it was really smart
Yeah.
because we hadn't seen him in so long. And I mean, the last time we saw of him, like he was just, he got what he wanted. He was one with the speed. So like it was cool. I like that annual. That annual like fixed so many problems for the Flash. But yeah, I think I'm just the biggest sticking point for me is like, why in the hell are we trying to like humanize a cosmic force? They did that in the show, and it was stupid.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, they tried this in the show and it just didn't stick the landing.
Yeah, and like, okay, well, instead of it making Barry's mom, let's make it their dog.
Oh God.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's just like the more I
I
think about it, the more I hate it.
I just don't understand the dog portion of it
Yeah.
though.
Well,
Because
like,
I'm like, is this something I'm like, because I've read basically every issue. There's like a few Silver Age issues I haven't read.
hmm,
But besides that, I'm like, all right, what am I missing here? Like I'm missing something. But it seems like it's a new thing. I don't know.
what are some of the reviews saying on this on League?
I mean, this one's pretty positive. Okay, it's the end of this very long arc by Spurrier, and I'm satisfied with it. The overall arc had its ups and downs through 13 issues, but I feel like it's reached a nice conclusion and promises some very good stories for the future. I agree with that.
I
I
I I
really
I
like.
think another problem with it for me is it was so like, and everything was the same, but it was a little bit different.
It just feels
You
like
know,
I read 13 issues for kind of nothing in a way.
yeah, exactly. Like it feels like nothing happened. Stuff happened. We have a dog, but nothing happened. You have a dog and two Wallies now.
Yeah.
So like, and I think that could be interesting, like the two Wallies bit. But I don't know, man. I One theory
Oh,
I did have before Lemire like debunked it was that the other Wally could be from the Absolute universe. But
oh,
Lemire
he
said that
debunked that?
yeah. Oh, well,
I never did see
he didn't
that.
like directly debunk it, but in on his Substack when he talked about like Absolute Flash, he said how it's completely independent from anything else at DC that's Flash related. So and maybe they'll circle back around to it, and maybe that's like he's like misdirecting us, so we don't really get that until it's revealed. I don't know, but at this point I want that to be completely separate and just leave it alone.
Yeah, I kind of want something just refreshing. I'm
The
I
other
know
thought I had
I know it's
was,
kind of
is
funny,
that
but
sorry, go ahead.
oh, oh, I know it's funny because this it was literally the prelude to the Absolute Universe, but I'm all in on the Absolute Universe.
Dude, yeah, me too, man. It looks cool. I and the other thought I had was, is this other Wally the other Wally from Heroes in Crisis?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I didn't even think about that.
Because I mean, we know that he's dead, but there's also we just went through 13 issues of timey-wimey bullshit for it to be like neatly tied off. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, so I don't know. I'm just gonna ride and just see what happens. But
Yeah, man, this is
I
what this is all about. We're just riding the wave, you know? Like,
yeah, I mean that's part of it. But sometimes I hate spending a few bucks on this book.
dude,
But at
like
least I get really cool covers, man. You know what I mean? I get cool covers
yeah.
every.
Yeah. But dude,
So
besides this series, like what's the other series that you like overanalyze? Thor, you know?
Thor, I think Thor for sure, only because like I've read so much. Like I'm probably just shy of 100 issues from reading all of Thor. So like I probably have like, because I haven't read. I stopped. I think it was in August. I haven't read anything past 400 since then. I've I spent the last 2 years reading so much Thor that I just needed a break. Not that I don't still, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna read Immortal Thor every month, and I'm probably gonna dip in and out for the next few months. I would like to finish my entire reading by the end of the year, so I can be like done with it. But like these last 100 issues, I already know are gonna be a slog because the '90s was such a shit time for Thor, bro. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff in that era that people just didn't care about, and I totally understand. But like when you get to like the Jurgens run and Disassembled, then it like picks back up there. But like up until that relaunch, like from right after 400 to 502, it's just kind of a drag.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Every character's gonna have their low point, I think, at some point. But like for the most part, like I've enjoyed like pretty much all of Thor. So like yeah, Immortal Thor is something I definitely overanalyzed. It also helps that I have like the writer on that title is somebody who really, really likes Thor as a character and damn nears know everything there is to know about Marvel.
would you do a trade off? You put Al Ewing on Flash and you put Spurrier on Thor.
Uh, you know what? Maybe. And I know that's like that might be a bit of a hot take, but I keep hearing that Al Ewing's knowledge of the DC universe is rivals Mark Wade's.
I saw something about that. Yeah.
So like, and if that's the case, then he's kind of like a no-brainer for a lot of titles. But if I really had to choose, I would love to take Ryan North from Fantastic Four and put him on Flash.
Oh, I've heard very good things about that.
His Fantastic Four run is phenomenal, dude. Like, and
Yeah.
he has such a great like grasp of the family aspect of the series, and the way he uses their powers in new ways is like the coolest thing ever.
I've seen some
Like,
panels of it.
yeah, it's great, man. Like they like one issue is they go to like a 4D dimension, and Reed is able to use his body in different ways because there's an extra dimension added to him. So like you see him do things that he would never be able to do in a 3D dimension, the regular comic dimension. But like, yeah, it's wild stuff, man. And it within the context of sci-fi, and anything is possible. It's just a shame that like Flash couldn't do that with
Yeah.
somebody who used a lot of high sci-fi concepts.
So I think I mean I think we've kind of covered what we have to say about this issue. So how do you feel
It seemed
about
go ahead.
oh no, you have something else to say?
I just like the one. Okay, the other thing I did like was how he turned the arc angles into the stillness.
Okay.
But it is kind of weird to see like that happen because the entire run so far have been like, the stillness worships them, but then the archangels say you're like basically nothing to me. Here you go, bye bye. So I mean, it was like a way to like neatly cap that off so they don't really come back. But then the Crown of Thorns, like what happened? Like that was literally all for nothing.
Yeah. You know what? It's weird. For 13 issues, I feel like it's kind of weird to say like was there even a villain for the whole
No,
thing?
no,
Yeah.
the
It's kind of
villain
weird.
was just the villain was just sci-fi.
Himself. It was himself and like
Yeah. Well, I
sci-fi
mean, honestly, yeah. I mean,
craziness.
and okay, I'm like thinking about it that way, it almost feels like Wally was the villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Wally and Barry were the villains of this story because they were the ones being blamed for everything. You're the reason why time is being upended. You're going to be the end of the multiverse. You're going to be you're destined to do all these things that are bad. You're shitty dad. You're not around anymore. Like that's just not a characterization I really cared for from the start.
Yeah, it kind of was just like, ooh, we kind of went through a lot to get here, and now we're gonna tear it down. So
Yeah, now we're gonna say, guess what? We love you and it's over. We understand that the Speed Force was crazy and all these cosmic beings were making you do things you didn't want to do. It's
yeah,
like it's like just give me Heroes in Crisis again. At least I can put the blame on him for real.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm kidding.
Um,
Don't do that, DC. I'm
no,
just kidding. I'm
no.
just kidding.
But just to kind of cap off Flash 13, it kind of answered our questions about where this takes place in the wider scope of the DC universe.
Yeah,
Literally, the
that
end
was
of
the
this
other thing
goes
too, is it's just
right in
like,
absolute power,
yeah, bam, absolute power. Here you go.
and like perfect timing too, because like this is wrapping up,
Yeah.
or it wrapped up, and I mean, I have mixed feelings about this.
Me too. You first, actually.
I just feel like I loved the first two issues. Third issue was kind of like, okay, middle of the road. And this issue was just purely just to set up other titles.
Yes,
It wrapped it up with Waller and everything, but it just like
I
set up conflict
yeah,
and issues for other titles, which is I guess a good thing for some writers, but for me personally, I was just kind of like,
right.
I'm
This
not
this
gonna
finale
I
didn't have the impact that we thought it would, I think.
yeah. I thought it was definitely gonna I mean, it's weird because you got to read this and then you got to read all in. To
Yeah.
I feel like to
I
fully get like the conclusion of this. I think it should have
right.
just been an absolute power 5. Honestly, that's why I
Dude,
think.
you're literally reading my mind, bro. I've been saying this all week long, like all week. I said
Yeah,
I've been telling everybody I've talked to about this. It feels so crammed together that there's no breathing room for any of this. Like had this battle gone on another issue, we get a little bit more from the multiversal army from Waller. I think the conclusion with Waller was very satisfying. Like you don't kill her, whatever, fine. But like you put her off the table in a way that's very like it's very like a big like middle finger to Waller because she can't remember any of the information she's acquired over the years. And she's left with this idea that she could maybe have a bomb in her head, even though we probably know that's not the case. It's just Dreamer
yeah.
saying, gotcha, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, uh,
There were some great scenes with
yeah.
I mean, dude, Dan Mora is the guy. I
He's
commented
just,
on his post this week. He
yeah.
posted some panels of Superman, and I literally commented, "We need more of him," and he liked it. I loved it. I was like, "That's awesome."
Dude, he just like absolutely just brings the heat. Like when they get their powers back, oh my God, dude.
Oh, so good.
It's so good, man. Okay, one thing I did like, I'm glad they didn't kill Barry, even though I wish he was still dead. Um, taking his powers away is a really good way to like force
Sheldon.
him to grow into a different direction. Because what else
Mm,
is he gonna do right now? Like now, he can finally slow down, be with Iris, you know, be a do what he's supposed to do, like his job. Because we haven't seen him do his job in like 10 years.
yeah.
Like what do you do? Are you just running around all day long being a sad sack? So that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, kind of
Yeah.
shelve him for a little while.
Yeah. Hey
I
man,
was pretty
this would be a good
shocked.
time to introduce the Tornado Twins in the main continuity.
Well, you already know how I feel about that. But
I mean, brother, trust me. If it's criminal that they're not used at all. Like it's just absolutely criminal.
yeah, I was reading that, and that as soon as I saw the panel of like Jay, Wally, and Barry on like the couch, just like chilling, I was just like, all right, this is gonna be some shit right now. What's going on? Um, I mean, Dan Mora drew a great Wally. Liked it. It was
Dude.
awesome. But
And that
I'm
scene with Hal and all the flashes
oh
that are
my
like giving
God.
him the little part. I was like, oh yes,
Oh my.
dude.
You know what? I know people are kind of mixed. Not on this, but like I feel like a lot of people aren't talking a lot about DC, but like you got Jorge Jimenez on Batman and you got Dan Moore on Superman. That's
You got Daniel Sampier on Wonder Woman.
oh my, like that's how it should
Dude,
be all the
okay.
time.
Yes, dude. And that's like I think that's part of Marvel's problem. Like
Yeah.
I'll be the first to criticize Marvel. They put some pretty average one, pretty average writers sometimes, and for on like most of the time, pretty average artists on their big titles. Like DC has that dialed in a lot of the time is they'll slap the good creators together and put them on the big name books. Like so that I don't think they've ever had an issue with that, but sometimes like they make some questionable decisions. You know what I mean?
I
But
think Marvel is afraid of propping up an artist because like if you think about like Marvel's history with like
which
the image boom and everything, it was
is
all
crazy.
Marvel artists.
Right, which is crazy considering the fact that they do this yearly Stormbreakers initiative with new artists that they're promoting. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, you know, like Martin Kokolo, like, cool, you're on Wolverine now, bro, but like, I only get 6 issues of you on Thor. Give me a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
A break. It's irritating.
Yeah.
Because
But
now I got like Jan Bazaldua, and their art's fine. Like, it's good. But like, yeah, I just miss Kokolo, dude. It's just his art's just the best for Thor.
oh yeah, nice flash variant.
Yeah, I got the power participation one. It's cool. Yeah, that one was pretty cool.
Hmm.
I almost got the foil, but I didn't want to pay another $8.
Damn. No foil for you?
I already did all of these, so
Oh boy, that's crazy.
yeah, dude.
This could have been at least this could have been like 12 issues though. I'm telling
These
you.
are all like that Task Force 7 things, like all
Yeah,
the ones about those. I think honestly that whole tie-in series is really good. I like that too.
I didn't read any of it.
It was good.
None of it.
The Flash issue, I say if you read any of them, read number 5. That's the Flash issue, and
All
it's
right.
great. It's really good. But
Um,
Lynn,
anything else to say about absolute power?
uh, I I feel like had it gone another issue and like ran into November, and then we held off instead of dropping absolute power and all in on the same week, give him a month breathing room, man. Finish absolute power in November, build up a little bit more hype for everything, drop your all in special in December, and let the absolute universe kick off in January.
Yeah.
Everything feels so rushed and so crammed together that it was hard to enjoy the finale. Like it didn't even like, and maybe that was by design. Is like the heroes thought they got their victory, and the second they were getting ready to settle in, that's not the case, you know. But the other part of that too is for some people, you're just like, where the hell did Darkseid come from? Because if you
Yeah.
didn't read the Batman tie-ins, you didn't know that he was even back.
Yeah.
So like it
Oh,
was
that's
like that
true. That's
because in the
true.
Batman Absolute Power tie-ins, they're looking for that mother box, but it's not even just a mother box. It was like sending out that signal which called Darkseid to Earth.
I mean, there's that moment where like they're looking down the street and it's like, oh shit, Darkseid's there.
Yeah, yeah, because like Batman's like, oh no, like we have to go now. He's like, this is not okay. He's like, I know what this is. And then as they're running away, like the Omega Beam is like chasing them. Like I remember reading that issue and be like, damn, this like might be the my favorite issue of Batman in like the last like several years. Like because
Damn.
it was like I was unexpected. I genuinely was not ready for Darkseid to be like, what's up? I'm back. Even though we knew he was going to come back and all in, I was like, how are they going to bring him back before that?
You
So when
see,
they
I
dropped it,
for me, I didn't even think about that because I know it's not current timeline, but like I just think of like World's Finest, how Darkseid was just in that. But then
yeah,
I was
that
like,
too.
wait a minute, that's like not even current. Like,
Yeah.
but I like this issue a lot. Daniel Sampierre killed it with this.
Mm.
Killed it. And I love Justice League Unlimited. I love the idea that they're finally doing this. It makes so much sense. You put Mark Waid, Dan Mora on this, it's gonna sell. It's gonna be the best book. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be so
I
good.
can't find it, but shops are giving out Justice League ID cards for this all
Oh
in push.
yeah, I saw those. That's cool.
Yeah, I grabbed one, the Batman one. I'm gonna get one every week, but the it's cool because like this week was Batman, next week is Superman, the week after is Wonder Woman, but the fourth week is a blank from like the issue. It's a blank card. And
That's
then the
cool.
fifth week, which is the last one, is gonna be like a dark side infected card that's glow in the dark.
Wow.
So I'm like getting them all, I guess.
Yeah. Damn.
Um,
That's the one. That's the thing I kind of miss about
like going into shop, yeah.
yeah, like digital. I love read digital because I don't have to go anywhere. I can just read it. But it's like, oh man, that's kind of cool. I don't know
Yeah.
if I would actually get them, but it's cool.
It's so funny, man, because like I had somebody like literally say, I don't know, I don't want that shit. That's for children. And I told him, I said, bro, I said, you're already reading comic books.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, don't act
yeah.
like you're bigger than us. Like you're reading this, like you're reading sloppy books, bro. Like, don't talk to me like that.
Like when I got those McFarlane statues for Flash and Batman,
Uh,
they came with cards, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But I didn't really care. So like when I saw the
yeah,
DC, when I saw the cards for the Justice League Unlimited, I was like, oh, that's cool. Meh.
right. Like, and even if you don't, and like this guy has a kid, bro. Like, just give it to your son. Like,
I
don't
think
don't
just
be a
some. I think
uh,
some people just don't collect cards like that. I
yeah.
get
Like,
it.
and
I get it.
I'm not a big card collector either, but it was just like to cool, like the little, the memorabilia, whatever. Like it was just like I guess
Yeah,
the thought behind it because it's a long time since the last time DC did anything like this was Green Lantern 1 when they gave out the rings.
true.
So like it's
Yeah.
been a couple years. I enjoy stuff like that. It's something that's like it spices up a little bit. It kind of builds a little bit of hype.
No, I
But
get it.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Um,
I'm gonna collect them all, and then I'm gonna be like, look, I've got these worthless cards in 20 years, and they don't mean anything, but they're cool.
yeah. Oh yeah. But
Like, whatever, it's fine. I just like
Um,
there's no reason to be a jerk about it, is all I'm saying.
yeah, no, I get it. At that point, it's like, dude, you're already reading comics. Like, come on, you got
Yeah,
some, you got some man child in you a little bit there.
yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
wrong
Yeah.
with it. Just embrace it.
Just put your diaper back on and be quiet.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, besides like just the teases to the absolute universe, and I mean, I love the stuff with Booster Gold. Like,
Yeah,
not a bad week this week. I'm kind of glad we waited for Flash to talk about Flash
yeah.
because
Because
like we didn't have much to say about it. I think it's because this
what
kind of overshadowed it completely.
what do you think about the Omega side of it, where it's like Darkseid's journey to everything?
I think it was cool for context. I liked it because, I mean, really, you could have started with either side. You could have started with
Yeah.
the dark side one. You could have started with the other, alpha one.
I which side did you read first? The Justice League side?
Yeah,
The Alpha or whatever it was,
the
Alpha.
alpha. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did the same. So
I
like,
was worried with digital that because it's a flip book, I
yeah,
was worried that the Omega side was going to be upside down.
but it
Thank God it
wasn't.
wasn't. No,
Oh
thank
yeah,
God it
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
I was
That's
worried
cool.
it was going to be upside down in reverse, and it wasn't.
Oh
Thank God.
shoot. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Because with sometimes reading digital, some of the image books,
Yeah, there yeah.
they don't read good on Kindle.
I,
They do not at
I've
all.
always been curious because there are a few issues. Like there's an issue of Rogue Sun that's like a choose your own adventure title. And it's hard to like it's hard to do that stuff digitally too, you know? Like
Yeah.
and there's even an issue where like some of the pages are horizontal because he goes into like a different dimension. Like the way that they do that book sometimes is really creative.
Yeah.
So it's like I've always been curious how they do that on like digital because I've been collecting them physically and I've never even looked at them digitally. But yeah,
Um,
I would imagine that's probably like something that people are like nervous about when they get books like this, you know?
yeah. I thought about it like all day at work. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be screwed. And then I wasn't. I was like, oh, cool. Because I remember reading it was recently when I reread New 52 Batman, that
Uh,
scene in the Court of Owls saga where it tilts.
oh
Reading
yeah.
that digital was painful. It was
Oh, I'm
painful. It
sure.
was the
Because you're like,
worst. And I forgot about it too. I was like, oh no.
yeah. Or that
Yeah.
issue of Flash during Adam's run where he's in the Tower of Fate and it's like constantly spinning. I could imagine you're just like,
Yeah. You have to set that setting on your phone. But
yeah. Um,
all overall, I'm very optimistic about like the whole DC universe after this. I'm excited for the Absolute Universe. I'm
yeah.
glad that because I was concerned because I have some friends and my brother that aren't reading anything right now and are jumping into Absolute Batman. And I was
Yeah.
glad.
Same. My brother is really interested in it, so I'm gonna try and scoop him up a copy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm hoping
and
that's going to be a book that you can just read by itself.
and it that's what it's being pitched as is you don't need really any kind of prior reading. So
Yeah.
great news about that book already is it already sold like 250,000 copies.
Oh yeah,
And
that's huge.
it was rushed back to print, dude. Like
Yeah.
last week they announced the second printing and its FOC is next week. So for those that are watching, if you did not get a crack at the first print for Absolute Batman and you're upset about it, you really contact your shop or order through whatever shop you can because FOC is literally in 3 days.
I
So this Monday, Monday is the cutoff for that.
yeah, I
So
saw
it
that actually.
and I would imagine this is going to end up being really similar to Ultimate Spider-Man in
That's
terms of
awesome
like
to hear.
how fast it sells out, how fast it's going to get reprinted. Because Ultimate Spider-Man has like 8 or 9 printings almost.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's gone through a lot.
It's
And
crazy.
the only other books that have gone through that many printings recently have been the Energon Universe books.
I mean, that's
Void
good
Rivals,
stuff for the industry.
yeah, Void Rivals just hit its 10th printing, and I think Transformers is about to hit that too. And then I want to say that Duke is well on its way to getting there also.
I ordered a physical copy of this, by the way. I had
Oh,
to.
nice. Yeah, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
man.
I was just like,
Because
I gotta have it.
yeah, it's gonna be cool, dude. Some of the variants are so sick, man.
Yeah.
I had to really hold myself back. I just went with the cover A, and I went with the logo foil.
Oh man, I might have to jump on that too. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that second print is sick, man. It's
I
really,
think it
really
looks
cool.
better than the first one, to be honest with you.
And the axe is so sick, right? Like it's cool, man. It's so funny because like somebody came into the shop yesterday and was like, "Can I order Absolute Batman?" I said, "It's too late, dog." I said, "It's out in like 6 days, man." I said, "You're gonna have to like first come, first serve, get your ass here early in the morning." Dude, the Mark Brooks, that one, right? Like the yeah. It, that one, I think that's one of my favorites. But
He's changing
yeah,
his style a lot lately.
yeah, he's doing like this like Disney like
Yeah,
esque style, which is cool. I think it's cool that he's changing his style up because he's just known as that like that. Recently, I heard him described as like this. He draws people really hot, but they look really, really sweaty all the time.
yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I totally agree with you. Like the Akira one looks really great too.
I didn't even know this was a real cover. I thought this
Yeah,
was fan art. That's
nah,
crazy.
man, it's legit. Yeah, it's the
Wow,
New York Comic Con, one of the New York Comic Con exclusives.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
But
sick.
anyways, man. Oh, you have
I'd want
anything else to say?
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You read Ultimate Invasion, right?
Yeah, of course.
Um, I'm not wrong in thinking that the way they set this up with Darkseid and him going to all of these places and acquiring all these truths and things and powers and him creating the Miracle Machine, that was very, very much like the Maker when he made 6160, right?
Yeah, I thought
And
the same thing.
it's really, really eerie how similar these things are right now, you know?
Hmm.
So like, and I remember seeing an interview with Scott Snyder like talking about the Ultimate Universe and him being like, "Oh man," he's like, "We've been planning this for like 3 years now." He's like, and it's just such a bummer. He's like, "It's not, but it is because like it seems like it's just like in response to it, rather than this is something that they've been crafting for a while, you know."
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like but it's nice to see that both companies are really, really doing a push in like new creative directions because I'm a firm believer in competition creates innovation.
Oh
So
yeah, for
like
sure.
So for both of these companies to really basically like commit to these ideas is nice to see because they could have easily just half-assed it and been like a future state or like 5G and be like, no, no, we're not gonna do that. Just kidding. Like to
Yeah.
see them actually commit to something and actually like put all their eggs in that basket, it's good, man. I like it.
I mean, just doing big swings, you know? It's
Yeah,
good to see a
exactly.
big swing.
And even if they don't all pay off, like it's nice
Yeah.
to see the other thing I think that is going to benefit us and the creators is DC seems to be taking a step back in terms of like editorial oversight and allowing a lot of these creative teams to just put out some ideas, see where they go, and if they stick, they stick, like and that's how it
Yeah.
should have been from the get-go. Is like and I think Marvel is like they shoot themselves in the foot so often when it comes
Hmm.
to editorial stuff. It's like just like let these people loose for just a little while.
Yeah. Let them just do kind of like I
Yes,
said, big swings because
right.
you know what's weird is I've heard a lot of people talk about like the super heavy arc of New 52 Batman and like love that arc. But I remember when that was going on, people hated it.
That was the Gordon one, right?
Yeah. But some
I
people
like
are
that arc.
like
I don't.
so
Yeah, I remember people were pissed, man, and I'm like, why? We knew it was going to be temporary, but it was still cool.
yeah. But I'm looking forward to this, man. I think it's gonna be good.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna bring a lot of people back in.
Does that mean Absolute Batman is something we're going to be covering too now?
I've actually been talking to my brother and one of my friends about possibly doing a video talking about it.
Yeah.
So we might have to do that, at least for the
Hey,
first
man, I'm
issue.
in. I'm all in, bro.
All in, all in.
I
But thanks,
really am.
man.
Yeah.
Thanks for always talking Flash with me, even though
Yeah, of course,
sometimes
man.
you're a little indifferent about it. And I don't know. I think we made the right decision with kind of waiting a week because we had to talk about
Yeah.
all this other great stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I there's a lot to look forward to, I think. Even if Flash isn't like sitting at the top of my pile or like the top of my like, you know, the book like the books that I enjoy each month. I appreciate that there is an attempt to do something different, even if I don't like it at the end of the day.
yeah,
So like And it's not that I'm not a fan of the genre that like the spin that he's put on this title. I really do like high sci-fi concepts. I like the cosmic horror stuff, but it's all reliant on execution, and that's just where it failed for me.
You know when to simplify it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But sweet. All right, man. Looking forward to the next issue. Looking forward to, seeing more Absolute Flash. We'll have to get together
Yeah.
for that one too. But always good chatting
Yeah.
with you and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for having me.